lot of questioning and worry now that the club will simply become one of those high-spending clubs that will dispense with their managers every season, much like we've seen at Chelsea. We can also tell you, Alex, that in the last half hour we've been speaking to those familiar with the thinking of the chairman and owner of Man City, and they've told us that Mancini, in their opinion, lost the support of the players, and the club was not where it needed to be. They also went on to, in reference to the new manager, to any incoming manager, to say that whatever's available, it's better than the manager they had. So strong words there, Alex.
In America, the NBA champions, the Miami Heat, are just one win away from the Eastern Conference Finals after taking a 3-1 lead in their playoff series with the Bulls. In the West, the Memphis Grizzlies were hosting the favourites for that series, the Oklahoma City Thunder, who were up by 17 points by one stage in the second quarter. The Grizzlies with a terrific comeback to take the lead before Kevin Durant of the Thunder managed to get this game-tying basket, 94 all, and it goes into overtime. 27 points for Durant, 23 points for Zach Randolph, though, as the Grizzlies took command to take a 103-97 overtime win, and they are 3-1 up in that series, unbelievably. More in just over 3 hours.
Well, that's all in sports, but before we go, Aissatou, what is your own reaction to that news?
Well, I don't think that would have been a good idea. They might as well have waited until they played their last game.
Well, that's good. Back to you.
Thank you, Fatou. And before we end this edition of the news, a quick reminder of our headlines. The Minister of the Environment, Parks and Wildlife has called for support in tackling the effects of plastic-induced waste on the natural environment. Elected ward councillors from the Kanifing Municipal Council have taken part in a 2-day capacity enhancement forum which seeks to equip participants with the requisite knowledge on the effective implementation of their mandate. Authorities in Mexico have scaled up efforts to tackle an active volcano which sits uncomfortably between two mega cities. And a boat carrying Rohingya refugees has capsized off the coast of Burma, killing scores of displaced migrants. That's all in this edition of the news. Join us at 10 for another bulletin. Meanwhile, enjoy our programs.
Neatly nestled at the edge of a quiet and tranquil river, streamlined by lavish mangroves which have been described as the thickest mangrove forest in Africa, Tendaba is almost dreamlike, with breathtaking views which provide a refreshing feeling. It is just the place to spend the better half of a vacation. It's great to have you back on the expedition. I am Ibrahim Ajata.
This is my first experience here and I love it.
On this edition of the expedition, I am in Kiang Tendaba, exploring its lavish backdrops and the amazing river Gambia. It's just the way to indulge in the country's amazing delights. Cruising the navigable river, streamlined by lavish mangroves. The expedition treks upriver in just a moment.
I'm Nisa, having a great time with my friends and the Smiling Coast. This program is brought to you by
the back again on the expedition with me, Ibrahim Ajata, exploring the charming delights of the smiling coast here at Kiang Tendaba. Now we're here in Kiang Tendaba in the central precincts of the Lower River region. Now with lavish and luxurious undergrowths and the biggest opening to the River Gambia, Tendaba is the definite home of bird watchers and lovers of nature. A day spent here enjoying its divergent delights makes a vacation entirely memorable. Snuggled comfortably at the rim of the vast River Gambia, the lower river settlement of Kiang Tendaba was perhaps brought to prominence in 1971 when an enterprising native, Sadio Toure, opened an ecotourism camp mainly intended to provide excursions and accommodate bird watchers. Situated in just the ideal location at the tip of the calm and navigable river exhibiting an ever-thickening forest of mangroves, almost competing for tallness, Tendaba is about 100 kilometers upriver from Banjul. The settlement, defined by a broad tidal river, savanna swamps and mangroves, is reachable either by boat sailing from Kombolament or by road on the south bank, where a diversion at Kianquinala on a beaten track will lead you to the village. Visitors instantly encounter an effervescent difference right from the moment they step on the road, leading to this virtually unbelievable natural paradise. Practically untouched undergrowths, complete with atypical and age-old trees of enormous import, will receive you into the realm of nature, sporting green and flourishing farmlands amid sprawling orchards abounded by rich woodlands. Hilly landscapes, lavishly forested, rise and fall between level terrains which contain the bulk of the local populace, leaving the rocky hills unruffled and composed with a wealth of every form of varieties unceasingly providing lively compositions. Just about half a kilometer or so from the homes and settlement, this is a hilly part, right? So you can see the top of it is entirely flat with a lot of rocks. A glance to the eastern bend gives you a perfect view of the River Gambia.
February in the hot season, the dry season they call. You have 2 seasons, hot and, and wet.
So you can here in February.
Yeah, February, and I was here 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And now you're back again.
And I'm back again, and then I'll go in November again. Yeah. Try to get a lot of people to Gambia because.
That's an ardent lover of the smiling coast, I'm saying. You must love this country.
Yeah, I get quite in love in this country. It was spectacular when I came here for the first time in February, and then was on wow, quite nice. But it's the dry season. I was very curious about the wet season, because the wet season is for the birds, the breeding season. And a lot of birds came here in the hot season, the dry season for birding, because all the European species came to this overwintering and migration. Yeah, so there are a lot of species here, a lot of birds.
So you basically hoping to see not only new species but migratory species as well.
I will see the breeding plumage. The colorful and when they're doing displaying, and that is not in the dry season.
Not in the dry season.
So I was here 2 weeks ago, and then there were all the birds in displaying and full of in the colorful plumage, and that was, I'd say, wow. Yeah, and the hot season, the dry season, is very bad weather, bad light conditions for photographing. Yeah, for birds okay, but photographing the birds. No.
Okay, so this is just the time to engage in birding and photography.
Yeah, they think it's a rain season, so you must not come to Gambia because the rain season. But it's the beautiful, the most beautiful season, I think, for photographing.
Someone suggested that we should call it the green season.
Green season, yeah, not the wet season.
Yes, and I think you should say this again, because during the wet season, the tourist season is usually on a significant low, very quiet. And here you telling me that it's just during this time, you know, that people should visit the Smiling Coast. This is just the time to visit the Smiling Coast for you. Yes, so your advice to those who haven't discovered these moments on the Smiling Coast?
Yeah, it's like on the movie. You see it, everything is green, and the birds are in it, colorful, but also the flowers, the insects, and all the reptiles, amphibians, everything is colorful.
Comes out.
It's unbelievable.
It's more colorful farm.
Very much more species in that beside of only the birds.
Really.
And yeah.
So there's a lot that a biologist can do here.
Yeah, for sure. Really. And photographers also. The light conditions is cloudy.